This episode of Breaking the Fourth Wall podcast or Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly is brought to you by the Comic Collections. Come check out the Comic Collections at 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania, or give them a call at 215-357-3332 for all your collectibles and comic book and music needs. Contact the Comic Collections, 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania. That's 215-357-3332.
Hi, this is Eddie Beeson. You're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall. I was Mandark in Dexter's laboratory. Ha 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 ha.
Pennypack Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. One of my favorite places to hang out. Really just here to talk. Wait for some people to come into the room to chat. God, I look old. It's been a rough year. Hopefully some of you guys will join me. Checking it out. If not, this is going to be a Breaking the Fourth Wall episode anyway. Let me go ahead while we're waiting for people. I'll go ahead and switch the camera around and let you guys see my view here. See how beautiful it is. When you see park, you think it's just like open land, maybe some kids playing frisbee or whatever, but here in Pennypack, it's really a wooded area. You know, you have a nice creek, Pennypack Creek, that runs through here, nice heavy woods. Over here, you can't really see from my angle, but it's, you know, walking trails and stuff like that. It's a really nice place. I've spent most of my life in here. You know, I'm 44 years old. I discovered this place when I was in my teens, you know, and I mean, God, a lot of memories in here. A lot of partying with friends, getting drunk underage, you know, starting little bonfires, spending the night out here. Hell, I've lost my virginity in these woods. Not that anybody needs to hear that, but I mean, you know, and I'm not going to take you to the spot that it's happened, but yeah, just a lot of memories, a lot of history here. And this is where I come from time to time to clear my head. And I just thought I'd, you know, actually finally share it with the listeners and the people, you know, and see for yourself why it's, you know, so important to me. Especially now, you got some of you guys from Breaking the Fourth Wall. There's a lot of things going on in my life and all my professionalisms. So I figured this would be a good opportunity and at least an episode to share with you guys. First and foremost, if you're watching this on the Twitch stream, even if it's a rebroadcast or whatever else, obviously I have restarted the Twitch stream, doing loose video games when I feel like doing it, and maybe sharing some of the podcast or whatever, or doing things like this, like I'm doing right now, you know, for you guys. Of course, you guys know that I've been working, that follow us, you know. Of course, you guys know that I've been working on an album to benefit Blind Cafe Radio alongside Josh Serbo, my old lead guitarist from my band from 14 years ago, Disillusion Purity. We have put it under that banner and have shared it out. We're getting ready to release a single here soon. I guess now's as good a time as any to announce the title of the single we will be releasing. It's called Countdown's Begun. I won't go into more detail. I'd rather you guys listen to it and give me your own feedback yourself. However, Countdown's Begun is going to be a hard-rocking song. It's not one of the softer songs or anything else. Again, the more emotional things, I'd rather you guys pick up the album and check out for yourself than give away all the surprises and everything. Especially because, again, it's 100% proceeds go to blindcaferadio.com and their subsidiary charities that work with blind people and all. So I mean, I'm really thrilled to be doing this and helping them out. Shout out to Blind Cafe Radio, which leads me to my next topic of conversation, which is Blind Cafe Radio. Yes, I was a DJ on there. I was doing Raise the Underground on Monday nights. And you guys that listen to Raise the Underground may notice conspicuously my absence, or at least rebroadcasts, reruns of episodes that I've done, shows that I've done. And part of it is because of the fact that I've been working on the album, and it's just not enough hours in the day, unfortunately. But also it is because of the fact that just a lot of other things have been going on in my life. Which I'm going to go over with you guys here, obviously, because I mean, it's part of the reason I'm here reflecting is a lot of personal things in my life that I usually do not talk about on stream or in broadcast. Maybe you guys may be thinking, well, I don't really know what you guys may be thinking, if anything. But myself, there are times that I feel like maybe I've overwhelmed myself, or bitten off more than I could chew. And part of that reason is the fact that, one, I love to entertain, and let's be real about it here. Yeah, I could get very political, and I'm very stubborn and set in my ways, if you will. I'm 44 years old. I think I've earned that right by this point. But that I never want to alienate people with what I feel. Um, I never want to alienate people with that. I never want to make them feel like they, you know, can't have their points of view simply because I'm stuck on mine. And a perfect example of that, somebody who probably will watch this video when it releases, is a good friend of mine named Kennedy. Um, he's as opposite of me, political points of view, as you could be. But he and I are still friends, even if he calls me on my bullshit or I call him on his. At the end of the day, we could still have a civil conversation, civil dispute, and if we can't find common ground, we just, shake hands and call it that's the end of the day. And I enjoy those types of topics of conversation, but I never do it on the shows, or try not to do it on the shows, because of the fact that the one time I did allow it onto the shows and into the venues, it really did alienate people, not only listeners or viewers, but it alienated friends in the podcast itself, and I could sit here and I could blast them and say, oh, they were pussies or whatever else because they didn't agree to the points of view that I pointed to, or they couldn't handle the topics of conversation. No, I'm not going to do that. I honestly feel bad about the loss of a friendship over something as stupid as a point of view. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and most everybody stinks. So really, it's not worth losing love, respect, or honor for somebody else because of it. And that's why we alienated that. However, I know like people who value social media, people like Facebook and YouTube or Twitter or whatever else, as life and not just a form of entertainment. I still post my political points of view, my points of view on this vaccine, my points of view on this virus, my points of view on this current administration. And yes, I'm still pissing people off. Sorry. I'm allowed to have my point of view. And that's part of what, frustrates me when I do things on social media. I love winding up in Facebook jail for my point of view. Even more so, I love winding up in Facebook jail for my point of view of 3, 4, 5 years ago, especially when that point of view was a silly joke meme that had nothing to do about anything. And you can't even dispute it. You can't even fight it. All you can say is whether you agree with the decision or not agree with the decision, but you don't get to actually comment what you feel about it. or what you think about it or what was said about it, or try to, fact check the fact checkers or whatever the case may be. You're not allowed to do that. And in turn, that just, that sucks. That's a dictatorship. That's totalitarian regimes. We're going to block you. We're going to stop you from saying what you want to say, and we're not going to give you an actual ability to defend yourself or to prove us wrong. That's wrong. I don't care what you say, that's wrong. I'm going to say something that Democrats used to say back in the day that they don't say now, but they used to say back in the day, and that's I may not agree with what you think, but I will defend your right to think or say it. And that's all I'm asking in return. Now, that's the end of the political rant. Just some of the things that, again, on my chest I wanted to get off. I'm not going to sit here and spend a half an hour blasting Facebook for their policies or their bullshit bias fact checkers. Breaking the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall right now, I don't know if we're on a hiatus. We're not shut down. We're not shut down. I will let you guys know what's going on in the background. Right now, it is pretty much just me and Colin as far as the mainstays of breaking the fourth wall. Unfortunately, Serenity and Don both had to take personal time off. I'm not going to go into detail. It's not my place to discuss their personal problems or situations that they're facing right now. So, and I respect their privacy and their opinions. So just letting you guys know they're not gone, they're not fired, or they didn't quit or anything like that. They are unfortunately taking a time off to handle some personal issues that they need to handle. So it kind of leaves me and Colin there as the only mainstays left in the show. And I mean, that's great, that's fine. But unfortunately, it kind of limits the shows that I'm not sure we'll be doing weekly shows, at least for the time being, until either A, we get our partners back, or B, we start seeing some others that aren't necessarily our mainstays, but they show up on occasion if they want to step in and fill in to allow for a full panel where we can continue the types of broadcasts that we were doing as a weekly show. So as of right now, it looks like the weekly show is going to be on hiatus. However, Breaking the Fourth Wall does do one-shots. We haven't done them in a while. I guess you can kind of consider this one to be a one-shot. But, we can still do that. Colin and I could tackle things like music or current events or, whatever the case may be, and release them as the one-shots were always intended to be, which is when there's something to talk about, we talk about it. But unfortunately, that means that there is not going to be any set schedules for current future shows, future podcasts, at least until I have some idea of what's going on for the future of the company, how long it'll be before we have our main players back, or if we can get people that are not our main players but are usually our special guests or whatever else, and I can get them to commit to filling in time until our main players come back, or whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is, if you're a fan of Breaking the Fourth Wall, whether the weekly show or the one-shots, we will continue to bring product, I guess you could say, to you guys. I'm just not exactly sure the format or how regular it will be until we get all four of our regular players back together. So, okay, I've touched base on the album. I touched base on Blind Cafe Radio. I touched base on the social media, and I touched base on the Twitch streams, and of course, Breaking the Fourth Wall. What else is there? Well, I guess my personal life. Another reason that a lot of things are kind of out of control right now, like I said, I feel kind of overwhelmed at times, is I did open my own contracting company alongside a friend of mine, CDW Contracting and Delivery. We started out like a ball of fire, but contracts have seriously dropped off on us, having a hard time finding things, which unfortunately now means that we are looking for some sort of at least temporary job, uh, probably in retail until we can get more contracts under our belt. Um, this is not a pity thing. It's just we're new to the business. We're small. We usually only take on small jobs. We have to say no because of the fact of finances and or personnel shortages to take on bigger jobs, which would pay a hell of a lot more money, but we can't afford those until we have some sort of, I guess you could call it a nest egg or fallback for it, that we could afford things like employees, extra hands, stuff like that. So unfortunately, it's just the growing pains of a new company. The company is not closed. We are still taking on contracts. I just have to come up with some sort of money to be able to afford child support myself. And that's not even mentioning my partner and his own bills and problems, So that doesn't help the situation of a lot of what I do for you guys. Um, no, I'm not saying these things because I'm not putting a donate button on here. I'm not asking anybody for anything. I'll say this: if you're in the Philadelphia, Jersey area and you have honeydew house improvements you need done, give me a call. The business line is 267-636-2908. Okay. Um, you know, Again, that's 267-636-2908 for CDW contracting. Give me a call. I'll give you a free estimate. And if we can connect it up and get it taken care of for you, we'll happily do that. We do plumbing, electrical, light carpentry, light landscaping, masonry, all the above. I'll install your kitchen appliances or replace a ceiling fixture with a ceiling fan, or whatever general needs you may have. As long as I can get my hands on the parts, and you guys give me a day and time that works for you, and we can come up to an agreement as far as price, then I will happily knock it out for you, and I will compete with most other people, especially for the fact that I'm trying to get my feet on the ground with the company anyway. So again, that's 267-636-2908 if you're interested in that. That's really all I have to say. I could go in. This is the part where I'll probably get called pussy or whining or whatever else, and that's not the case. But there's one other thing I guess I could discuss, and that's my children and my family home life situation right now. Unfortunately, my children are in Florida, and the court system has been jerking me around as far as finding out if this was legitimately done. That my ex took my children to Florida with the court's knowledge, and that they okayed it, because nobody contacted me about it. Nobody told me about it. Nobody even asked me if I was okay with it. I'm still paying child support, and I still have a visitation order where I'm supposed to get them every other weekend, and get a call from them every day and stuff like that. And I pay for 10 years, I've been paying the phone bill for them to be able to do so. That my ex-wife has just walked around like it's her cell phone, and I never hear from my kids. But at the same time, they rape me on my child support, and God forbid I fall behind on payments on child support, then, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. But you can't tell me whether or not she legally or illegally took my children out of state. These are the things that I've been dealing with as well. I've been battling with the court systems. I've been struggling with catching back, thanks to COVID and everything else, catching back up on my child support payments. And of course, I can't afford a lawyer. Everybody always says, get a lawyer, get a lawyer. Yeah, I can't. It's too expensive. They say, get a public defender. Part of the reason I'm in this situation is because of public defender. In fact, my situation got better when I fired the public defender and started defending myself, as sad as it is. So Not that I'm a law expert or anything like that. I don't want to give the impression that I am or whatever. I'm not. But overall, these are the things that I have faced. These are the things that I have dealt with. These are the things that I've been dealing with, especially the past couple months, where you may notice the break in like, breaking the fourth wall, or break in, me mentioning much about my personal life on my social medias, or a lack of pictures of my kids. These are the reasons why. And the reasons of being is the fact that I'm a person who usually suffers these things alone. But out of respect for you guys, the fans, the listeners, the viewers, I felt you guys deserved a right to know. So that way you don't think that we just shut down, or that you think that, I don't care about it anymore or whatever. Nothing could be farther from the truth. The fact of the matter is, it's just a lot's been going on. A lot of behind the scenes things have been going on. I've been trying to wrestle with them to get them into some form of uniformity, which will allow me to be able to create a better schedule for what's going on. So the biggest thing from this video that you should take away is just bear with me. Bear with breaking the fourth wall. Bear with Dissolution Purity. Bear with Raise the Underground. It will all get back into place, and it will get back into place very soon. I'm working on it. I'm dealing with it. I'm working with the hours of the day that I have. I don't know if you noticed or whatnot, but I mean, I probably aged this way in the past couple months, just trying to figure this out and deal with it. But of course, I want to do this for you guys. The biggest thing that breaking the fourth wall, and anything that I do entertainment wise, that I don't do it for the money. I don't even do it for the recognition, really. I don't care if people know who I am, or whatever else. I do it to try to give you guys some form of entertainment and an escape, I guess, escapism from the everyday situations of the world for even an hour. You know what I mean? Whether you're laughing along with me, laughing at me, agreeing with me, or telling me I'm full of shit, it doesn't matter. I'm giving you an hour or so where you can stop worrying about the everyday life, the bills, the restrictions, the COVIDs, the mandates, the whatever, and just have a moment to sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy, what it is that we try to provide for you guys. And I want to let you know that as long as you guys are willing to have us, we're going to continue to do it. And that's the biggest thing. Thanks for hanging out with me, hanging out in my special little spot and listening to me bitch, moan, and complain about my own personal life. And guys, I will catch you very soon on the next Breaking the Fourth Wall. Have a good night.